Hello everybody, this is Toysareruss, and for this special third-party figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at Newage 21B Dr. No, which, as I'm sure you can guess by now, is a third-party company's take on a Legend scale soundblaster figure. So we're going to have a look at him in both of his modes. We're going to compare him to the core class version. We're going to bring in Newage Optimus Prime to see how he scales with them. And then I'm lucky enough to have an original soundblaster figure so we can see how he looks compared to him. And indeed, of course, some of the mainline generations soundwave. Again, just so I suppose you can see how much smaller than these they are. So as I start to move all of these out of the way, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if I'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really will help me out. And also to let you know, there's a direct link to Studioseries website, which is where I got this from, if you do want to get one for yourself. So he comes packaged. Again, you can definitely tell, of course, that this is based on Generation 1 and indeed Takara and Hasbro packaging. So you've got the box there. That is, of course, Sound Blaster on the front. And this is one of their early ones. And that's because Newage have started to reissue loads of their products again. So there we go. He does actually come with 3 cassettes as well. We will have a look at them at the same time. And he comes packaged in this particular, I suppose, it's like a clamshell, plastic casing like that. And he's got an abundance of accessories. Now, it looks like what they've done is pretty much copied, I think, yeah, the Netflix one where you put the accessories on the back, which we're going to have a look at in a second. Now the transformation process, because it is really quite intricate for such a small figure, there's a link in the description as well, because I've already done a shattered glass soundwave from Newage, and of course it is exactly the same. So let's just move everything out of the way just so we can focus fully on the particular figure. Now, for those of you unaware, as I say, Newage, third-party company, they make transforming figures, so they're not allowed to use the proper name. Now they also use die-cast parts, so this is made of metal there, and also I suppose this is a perfect example again of you get what you pay for with regards to money, because of course this is the core class figure, which there's nothing wrong with, but this is super basic compared to this. But that is because, by my currency anyway, this is about 4 times more expensive than this guy. So it's a case of that, guys, and you'll see the difference. Don't get me wrong, the difference is tenfold. And of course there's no die cast with this, but this is, of course, as I say, core class Sound Blaster. The cassettes, obviously, for the Hasbro one doesn't transform, but it's not much smaller, to be honest. It really isn't much smaller. Now you can take these cassettes, none of the buttons work, they are just, of course, molded on, but you can put, I'm saying this and I'm hoping I've probably picked the biggest cassette there is. Let's go with this. That fits in no problem whatsoever, and of course then getting him out may or may not be an issue, but he does go there. The other accessories that we've got here will be hands, and indeed it looks like we're going to have a frenzy rumble. I'm not going to get into that argument, but you can see we're going to be able to do that with the cassettes. And of course these are the normal weapons that he would hold in his hands, and as I say, by now attaching these, it tidies up the back a little bit, only a little bit, but most importantly it means that you can stand it up like so, and he will of course rest like that. So that's pretty much all there is to say about this particular mode. Oh, that's just come out already. Let's get it back in. It's because it's a brand new toy, to be fair. That's all there is to say about the tape cassette mode. Let's come back and have a look at him in his robot mode. So here he is in his robot mode, and as I say, this is where you see where all the money's going, which, to be honest, you know, it's great. And I think it's also fantastic that we've got this choice, being a Transformers fan, of exactly that. So the robot itself, now I know a lot of people say, but he's very small, which he is. He is very, very small indeed. That is, of course, your deluxe class Optimus Prime, which, yeah, is exactly that. He is nice and small. There's a G1 Optimus Prime, and of course your latest Commander class Optimus Prime is absolutely towering over him. He's, you know, twice the size of him. But again, this is where it really comes into fruition. You get what you pay for, and exactly as sort of Hasbro was sort of doing, you know, with regards to some Voyager class figures being not the greatest in height, but due to the level of articulation and what comes with them, also has a determining factor to the price. So if we look at the head sculpt, you can see it is really good. It is clearly, obviously, that is Sound Blaster. Unfortunately, there is no light piping for the eyes. You can spin the head around, you can look up and down. The shoulders will come all the way up, no problem whatsoever. That isn't really a butterfly joint, it is just the transformation process. It should, that's better clipping. You can do full T though, no problem. You can go all the way around, no problem whatsoever. You can swivel at the top of the shoulder, there's bicep flexion, there is multiple wrist articulation, and so much so that you can actually just pop these off if you wanted to. You've got open palms, which you can see, and you've got pointing fingers as well, and all you do is pop them off the sprues, and then you can just literally pop them into here as well. You can see ball and socket joints, they come off as easy as that, so it's up to you if you wanted to. Me personally, because I'm not the greatest of posing and indeed toy photographer, so I don't really do anything apart from just keeping them so I can do what I'm about to do, attach the accessories. Now these as well, if you hold onto the one side with the handle, you can extend these out, so that can act a bit like a blaster, and of course the same at the top as well. So you've got, of course, the choice of putting the one on there, which everybody knows Sound Blaster for having. This is really stiff, and that is of course because it is brand new. In fact, I thought that that should go around. Anyway, I'm going to pop them in his hands because I want to do that first and foremost. That's again why I've kept these fists on, and that's typically why now I'm going to struggle trying to pop these, that's better, into his hands so he can use these as indeed blasters. Now again, I've only done articulation down to the arms. I'm going to show you the rest as soon as I've got that in. There we go. So the waist, look, he's got a genuine ab crunch. That is of course built in. That is nothing to do with transformation. Yes, it's a little bit too much in all honesty, but it is a genuine ab crunch. You have got a full unrestricted waist swivel. You've also got the legs which will kick up to the front. You can lift this hip skirt up as well to come way past the point of the splits. Same as at the back as well. This will move ever so slightly, but you can come back there. It's slightly hindered. You've then got a thigh cut swivel, a huge, oh, the leg's backwards now. What have I done? I've unclipped it. There we go. Massive knee bends and ankle tilt, etc., etc. Yeah, ankle tilt, rock, toe tap, all of this will move around. The articulation on this is masterpiece level. Again, hence their names being called mini masterpieces, or that's what they're sort of dubbed at. But I think this, again, what I want to show you is a real genius idea, and I don't know why nobody else, again, please correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because I'm not all super knowledgeable on every single thing to do with third party. In fact, I probably need to transform these. So I'm hoping that these aren't going to be too difficult, but even these sometimes are exactly that, really sort of quite intricate. But what I want to show you is the main reason, what I think is great. If you have a look at quickly there, you can see you've got some reflective metal on the forearms of this particular figure. Now that is to balance these on, so you can, again, when you've got laser, mainly for laser beacon for soundwave, funnily enough, but we've got, is this buzzer? Oh, we've got buzzer. Let's just do this. This should be easier. Fold these out. I think it's genius. As I say, to my knowledge, of course, again, I don't know everything. I do not know a Hasbro one that has this particular feature. Whether or not it's something that has been brought into other toy lines, I don't know. But see, you've got little magnets on his feet there, so you can, very simple, you can pop that there. That's brilliant. I just think that's genius. I think that's so clever, and it's just something that can be exactly that, just a great little idea. There we go. We can pop that in as well and have it as a normal blaster. Just, that's better. They're all going in and out easier now. This will be rumble, and again, look how small this is. It's about the size of my thumb, and I haven't got the biggest hands, to be fair, and these are so intricate. It's crazy. You can see there's a ball and socket joint on every single part. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Again, the reason the main transformation isn't on this video is to keep the length of the video down, and I do get a lot of people, believe it or not, who a bit like me, and there was a thing back in the day when G1 came out, there was like a little, you know, where you'd try, let's slide that body down, to do the transformations for yourself. And of course, if I've shown it you, then you won't get to see it. I'm just going to quickly do that. I'm going to take these, I'm going to pop these into there. So yeah, it's mainly to give you guys the opportunity, if you didn't want to see it for yourself straight off, you haven't got to. And as I say, you'll be quite surprised how many people do thank me for doing that. So again, but if you do want to see it, that's the beauty of it. If you want to see the transformation, it is on, let's rotate that around, on its own ball and socket. It's in its own video, and as I say, it is directly in the description of this. So there is the little tape cassettes, which you could see do look and display. I probably haven't pulled the back down all the way, but I just, again, for speed of the video, I just want to get that done. He's on there. You've got the multiple hands. Let's bring in, there's your core class. So again, he's bigger now. It's literally like the Transformers, you know, where they get bigger through whatever, I suppose, matter expanding, whatever they call it is, because they were the same when it was the cassette mode. And of course, now he's much bigger. That is a Newage Prime, so that is exactly who he should scale with. I suppose there's a good example. There's a missing link Bumblebee, which is just quite a bit only a little bit cheaper than him, and again they've added all the extra articulation and things to him as well. So that's probably a good example now that we've got masterpiece or missing link figures, shall we say. There is the original G1 Soundwave, Soundblaster. I nearly called him Soundwave by mistake. There you go. There isn't really much more to say about him. It is what I do love when every company does it, to be fair. It is just a straight up deco of their Soundwave figure, and expect to do the Soundwave review very soon as well, as I say, because they are reissuing all of these on shows as we speak. But there you go, guys. This was a very quick look at Newage's take on Soundblaster. Let me know what you think of him in the comments, and of course, if I missed anything out, please do let me know. Take care.